The West got a little wilder in the regional semis. Colorado, making its first Sweet 16 appearance, ran Stanford ragged and upset the defending national champions. Colorado will rely on its tenacious defense to contain Texas Tech's Cheryl Swoops, the nation's second leading scorer. Swoops continued her tournament tear with 33 points against USC. In the Midwest, #1 Vanderbilt escaped relentless defensive pressure to move past Stephen F. Austin. The Commodores boast a well-balanced attack featuring 6'10" center Heidi Gillingham, who dominates the middle. Vandy will meet Louisiana Tech, a two-time national champion, with a 33-8 tournament record. Lady Texter Danielle Whitehurst scored 22 points in the regional semifinals and sparked a defense that held Southwest Missouri State to 30.6% shooting from the field. In the East Final, second seed Virginia takes on top-seeded Ohio State, who beat the Cavaliers 2 months ago. The Buckeyes will rely on aggressive defense to handle Virginia's powerful inside game. Virginia has out-rebounded opponents by an average of 17 boards per game in the tournament. And 6'5" twins Heather and Heidi Burge have combined for an average of 28 points per game. In the Mideast, Tennessee coach Pat Summitt will be looking for her 500th career coaching win when her top-seeded Lady Vols take on second-seeded Iowa. The Hawkeyes lead the nation in scoring defense and will be on its home floor. But Iowa loses the experience factor to Tennessee, a team that has won 3 national championships. And all 3 titles coming in odd years. And you can see all 4 of those regional finals right here on ESPN tomorrow beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Some like it cold is next, followed by National Hockey Night. Have a good weekend, everyone. I'm Charlie Steiner.
The two go hand in hand, kind of. Have a good weekend, everyone. Take care.
ESPN presents the NCAA Women's Midwest Regional Final from the William R. Johnson Coliseum in Nacogdoches, Texas. It's the top-seeded Commodores of Vanderbilt against the third-seeded Lady Texas from Louisiana Tech. And welcome back to Hoops Headquarters. I'm Chris Fowler, along with Nancy Lieberman-Klein, who knows a little something about winning national titles, 2 of them at Old Dominion. How do you see this game? Locked back, a team that seemed like maybe a year or 2 away, but they're here.
Well, they're here. They're a great team, and they're coached by Leon Barmore, who knows about winning. He has 3 national championships under his belt. But Vanderbilt is led by 6'10" Heidi Gillingham. Big on the inside, but great three-point shooters on the outside. La Tech, inexperienced, but loads of talent. Look for transition from them.
Iowa and Ohio State already in the Final Four. We'll see who gets out of the Midwest bracket. Let's join Bob Carpenter and Fran Harris down in Nacogdoches.
Welcome to Nacogdoches, Texas. Population 31,000 and the campus of Stephen F. Austin State University, the site of the '93 Women's Midwest Regional. Thursday night, Louisiana Tech in Southwest Missouri, and it was Tech swarming man-to-man defense leading to turnovers and points. Danielle Whitehurst led the way with 22 in a 16-point victory. #1 Vanderbilt took on the home team, Stephen F. Austin. And down the stretch, the three-point shooting of Shelley Gerard led the way to a narrow three-point win. And here they are in the championship final on this Saturday. Louisiana Tech, only number 14 in the nation, but that's an old ranking against #1 Vanderbilt. Welcome to Nacogdoches. I'm Bob Carpenter. Vandy now has the pressure of proving the SEC was the best league in the country this year. Tennessee already beaten today. And Louisiana Tech, that ranking is a couple of weeks old. They've won 3 consecutive tournament games. Fran Harris, the former Texas star, with me. They've got all the momentum, and it makes for a great matchup here tonight.
Well, Louisiana Tech definitely has momentum, coming to the regional tournament 11 times already. But Vanderbilt has some outstanding shooters. What I like most about this matchup is that you're going to get the opportunity to see 2 of the country's toughest defensive teams go head-to-head for 40 minutes.
And the country's tallest player in Division I, 6'4", 6'10" Heidi Gillingham of Vanderbilt. She, of course, tries to lead her team into the women's Final Four, but at the same time, she has a very positive outlook on her height and what it's meant in her lifetime.
All my life, I have been asked to do certain things because I'm so tall. I put away the dishes on the highest shelf for my mom and fix the net for the ref the other night when other people were having difficulty with that. But all in all, my height has really been a positive thing for me. And I've been able to go to the school of my choice and play on an excellent basketball team here at Vanderbilt. And on the court, it's also an asset. And I plan to take full advantage of that tonight against Louisiana Tech.
She's averaging 14.7 rebounds a game. Vandy and Louisiana Tech at the home of Stephen F. Austin here in Nacogdoches.
Shop Squillicoff Sunday from noon until 5 p.m. for record-breaking savings with 4 months free interest. Save up to 50% on furniture, mattresses, baby furniture, custom draperies, even fine jewelry. Plus big savings on Squillicoff's carpet, major home appliances, TVs, camcorders, and stereo sound. With 4 months free interest up to 24 months to pay. Squillicoff's record-breaking sale. Shop Sunday noon to 5, ends Monday night at 9, downtown Cedar Rapids, of course.
Discover the West, the romantic West, the outlaw West, the real West. Hosted by Kenny Rogers on E&E. Thursdays at 8, 7 Central. It's quality you can count on from Cox Cable.
ESPN's NCAA basketball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. And by DuPont, better things for better living.
Outstanding matchup of women's college basketball powers here tonight as Louisiana Tech, 26-5 after a 13-1 Sun Belt season, takes on Vanderbilt 29-2. They won the SEC tournament. There's a look at Leon Barmore at the helm of Louisiana Tech Texters, and our Olympic stained lineup features Danielle Whitehurst, all Sun Belt performer this year. She had 22 points and 4 rebounds in the semis against Southwest Missouri the other night, and she is outstanding, the only senior on this team, and the last from the Final Four year of 1990. Leon Barmore, co-Sun Belt Coach of the Year with Jerry Ann Winters of Arkansas State sharing that honor, and he's won 307 games in his 11 years at Tech. The Vanderbilt starting lineup features Julie Powell, a 5'11 junior guard, second-team All-SEC performer this year. And Powell has been outstanding the last 7 or 8 ball games, leading them into tournament action. Jim Foster is a native of Philadelphia. He's an intense coach, and in only his second year at Vanderbilt, he's already won 51 ball games. The tap between LaShawn Brown and Heidi Gillingham is controlled by Louisiana Tech after Rhonda Blades of Vanderbilt kept it in.
And already you see Louisiana Tech establishing tempo. Got the basketball quickly, pushed it up the half court, and looked for the quick shot off transition.
And already Heidi Gillingham's first rebound.
Now, I mentioned how tough of a defensive team Louisiana Tech is. You'll see them play primarily a man-to-man defense. You'll see Vanderbilt go with several matchup zones.
Players stumbling away from the ball. And the referee is pointing at Heidi Gillingham. He was going at it with LaShawn Brown.
Gillingham only with 2 fouls in the game against Stephen F. Austin. Having her on the bench is definitely going to be an area that Louisiana Tech has worked on. They're going to try to focus on in this particular ball game.
Louisiana Tech, down through the years, always featured a great post game, but now with better guard strength, they're running the motion for the second straight year. One of those guards is Amy Brown, but she couldn't knock down the 3. No score, almost a minute in. The dump down to Gillingham, trying to dribble around LaShawn Brown, and then the turnover at midcourt. Pat Thomas chasing. She's got a couple of trailers.
Oh, that's Louisiana Tech at its best, definitely.
She finds Jackson.
I think Tech got an opportunity to watch the Stephen F. Austin game. They liked how Stephen F. Austin kept the game up-tempo, forced Vanderbilt into some early turnovers to establish tempo.
And he just did escape that game. They committed 19 turnovers and beat SFA 59-56 here 2 nights ago.
Right now, Vanderbilt not anywhere to look with the basketball as Whitehurst all over Shelley Gerard on the left wing.
5-second call. It'll go back to Louisiana Tech. Leon Barmore was a 3-year co-head coach. Sonia Hogue, back in the mid-'80s, he's got the program all to himself now and has done just an outstanding job. Known as one of the great tacticians in women's college basketball.
Louisiana Tech will get nothing inside. Vanderbilt definitely forcing Tech to take the outside shot, and Whitehurst accepting the challenge.
Yeah, she got the 2. She's a 49% shooter, and Tech leads at 4-0 just over 2 minutes in.
And that's Whitehurst's first bucket of the afternoon, of the evening, actually. Had 22 points against Stephen F. Austin, well over her year average.
They switch it left side, Misty Lamb, then the dump down, and the soft jumper won't go for Heidi Gillingham. Vandy got it back, but committed the turnover as Misty Lamb traveled with it. Jim Foster's team unable to score yet. They've been great on the road and at neutral sites. Louisiana Tech shoots very well. They hold their opponents way down in the mid-30s with great defense. And there, of course, is the Whitehurst big game in the semis against Southwest Missouri the other night. They held Southwest Missouri to 43 points.
Look at the work down low by Brown. And Gillingham not even in a position to front. She's playing directly behind her. She doesn't think Brown can take that shot and make it.
Pam Thomas with the 3. And it's 7-0 Tech in the first 3 minutes. The number 1 team in the nation outplayed by a big margin so far.
I want to make note of one key matchup, and that's Whitehurst and Gerard. Whitehurst is a tough defender for Louisiana Tech. Shelley Gerard, the captain on this Vanderbilt team. You're going to see those two go after it.
Whitehurst slapping her way to foul number 1. First team foul against the Lady Texters. Out of Ruston, Louisiana. They've had an unbelievable tradition. 10 Final Four appearances, 3 of those in the old AIAW before 7 in the NCAA. And on the inbounds play a foul. The officials for the game, Patty Broderick, the referee, Angie San-Severo, the umpire. Looked like Amy Brown was the player called. That'll be her first, team second.
Already, though, the play so physical. And the last Vanderbilt possession, Jim Foster yelling at the official for how much Tech is able to hold on to Vanderbilt on the offensive end of the floor.
Gillingham unable to get
Nice
near the hoop.
pass.
Great pass underneath. And before the shot, another foul on Amy Brown, who was trying to stay with Misty Lamb. And quickly, that will be 2 on her. And 3 very quick Tech fouls.
One of the luxuries of being 6'10", and especially a player with as much grace as Heidi Gillingham has. She posts up very strong, but not only that, has a nice touch, but can see the court very well. Nice jump off here to Lamb.
Some feel that she should dominate more than she does. But when you see that replay, you know why she can't go out and score 30 points every night. Everybody's collapsing down on her.
You've got a tough defender in LaShawn Brown on her, not letting her get anything easily underneath.
Gillingham, after the miss, got her own rebound. Out on top again, Rhonda Blades running the offense.
Nowhere to look for Vanderbilt. Hands all over the place, and now Tech has 2 big players in the ballgame.
Gillingham missed the easy shot after they got it over LaShawn Brown, and Vandy still has not scored. And then an unforced error in the backcourt by Tech will give it back to the Commodores.
Barmore with a bit of help for his players didn't help, but key right now in the ballgame because Vandy is having so much trouble initiating their offense.
They got to get the ball in the hoop, and that should take care of it. Kansas by 5 over Indiana in the last 2.5 minutes of that big game in the Midwest Regional, St. Louis. We'll keep you up to date on the men's tournament tonight. Good work in the baseline across by Shelley Gerard. And we've got a whistle. The basket counts and a foul underneath. Hitting it from outside was Julie Powell.
Looks like it's going to be a foul on Vanderbilt. Hopefully not Gillingham. But definitely a foul on Vandy.
Gillingham, her second. She has not scored, but her team is finally on the board. 4 minutes and 8 seconds in. Vandy trails by 4.
Nature can be devastating to water. All-purpose water sealers waterproof. So does Olympic WaterGuard for wood. But only Olympic has sunblock protection to fight sun damage. Plus resists mildew and has penetrating linseed oil to strengthen wood fibers. Olympic WaterGuard with 4-way wood protection, because wood needs more than an all-purpose water sealer.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush life. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions. What do all these police officers have in common?
My name is Patrolman James Newton, and I was shot once, Bob Parcell, and I was shot right above the heart.
Every year, more police officers are shot.
Point-blank range.
Yet fewer die, thanks to an innovative DuPont fiber called Kevlar in bullet-resistant vests.
Tina Dillard, and I was shot twice at close range.
Being a police officer is always going to be dangerous, but it doesn't have to be fatal. DuPont, better things for better living.
State University, Nacogdoches, Texas, and the Midwest Regional Championship game. So far, the folks who reside about 2 hours away over in Ruston, Louisiana, look awfully good. In their blue road uniforms, the Lady Texans of Louisiana Tech, 7-3. And the big news, Heidi Gillingham with 2 early fouls for Vanderbilt. And as the timeout comes to a close, she is not in the ballgame. Mara Cunningham, a 6'4" sophomore center, is in there in place of Gillingham, who has to sit with the 2 fouls. This gives Leon Bormore a chance to really try to build a lead early in the game. Gillingham, no points, 2 rebounds, 2 fouls.
What Vandy will be able to do is to use its versatility on offense. They have players, in fact, just taking a look at them in practice, everybody takes 3-point shots. So they have players out there now who are all capable of scoring from the perimeter.
They're really having trouble finding passing lanes. Shot forced, wouldn't go for Misty Lamb. And it was picked up by Rowana Jackson of Louisiana Tech. Down deep they go for LaShawn Brown. They think they can use her size offensively now with Gillingham out of there, but she couldn't get a good shot off.
Now that run, that's exactly what Vandy wants Louisiana Tech to do. They want them to get the basketball inside to their post players. What they don't want is for Tech to get going with the guard penetration, the dribble penetration from Thomas and Johnson.
That's Mark Cunningham's trademark. They say it's the best jump hook in women's college basketball. And she had nothing but net. It's now a 2-point game, 7-5 Tech.
Here's where Whitehurst had a clinic the other night against Southwest Missouri State. Isolation on the skip pass. Whitehurst is at her best, taking it to the hole.
Louisiana Tech will sub Deborah Williams in, a 5'8" freshman who provides instant offense as well. And we've got another timeout on the floor. 14:35 to go. It's 7-5 Louisiana Tech. Very early.
Gillette introduces the best shaving gel ever. New Gillette Gel. Advanced lubricant. Easier razor glide. An incredibly smooth shave. Now, the best gel is Gillette Gel.
Do you want it?
Do you really want it?
If you want it, get IcoPro Thermic Force at GNC, the 6-week conditioning program to help build the body you want.
IcoPro really works.
IcoPro Thermic Force at General Nutrition Centers.
I'm State Farm Agent Jeff Libby. One of the most gratifying parts of my job is helping young parents, people who are just beginning to understand what life insurance is all about. Young couples don't need a sales talk. They just need to talk to someone who understands them and their life insurance needs. Now, I know what that promise of security means, and I don't believe there's a better promise a parent can make.
State Farm sells life insurance.
You're looking sharp. You've come so far. And we know how to say the most of who you are.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. A shave this close, this safe was never this easy. Sensor. And now there's Gillette Shaving Gel with advanced lubricants for an incredibly smooth shave.
Well, Fran, I have a feeling you're not terribly surprised that Vandy had trouble scoring because Tech plays such great defense.
Well, Vandy had a very difficult time against Stephen at Boston, initiating their offense, making the entry pass. That's the area they've got to continue to work on. Force Tech to get into some foul trouble with a one-on-one situation.
That Tech shot short from Deborah Williams, who just checked in. Danielle Whitehurst has the loose ball. Out on top, it's Thomas. She's got some range, but that one rimmed out on her. Rhonda Blades picks up the loose one for Vanderbilt.
I tell you, Vandy is over there smiling. If they can get Pam Thomas to take that shot, they're in good shape. That's not a shot she can hit on a consistent basis.
She's a 42% shooter, but only 21 from three-point range. And now Tech is starting to pile up a few fouls. It looks like this one will be on LaShawn Brown, her first.
Tech, big advantage inside with Spurlock, Brown, and Jackson, who's on the bench right now. They like to intimidate inside. They'll spread the fouls out. They have 15 fouls between those three players, and they will use them. I guarantee you, with Gillingham on the bench, they're not going to let down one bit.
That was Nicole Collins who checked in for Tech, number 12. Collins, a good three-point shooter. Evidently, Leon Barmore didn't like that last shot by Pam Thomas. On the left wing, Julie Powell. Louisiana Tech playing great denial defense all over the floor. Shot clock down to 5.
That's a shot Julie Powell can definitely hit, but not under those circumstances.
30-second shot clock in women's basketball. Each team gets 4 timeouts. That's why you saw Leon Barmore use one early. They've got one more to play with during the 40 minutes than there are in men's basketball. And, of course, there's no 10-second backcourt violation. You've got all the time you want to get it up the floor. The only problem is if you take 20 seconds, you've only got 10 seconds left to shoot.
You better be prepared to do something special with the ball when you get it on offense with that little time left.
And the dump down off the hands of Mara Cunningham. A low-scoring game with a lot of turnovers so far. 7 minutes in, and Tech's been a long time without scoring.
And right now, both teams playing right into each other's defensive hands. Tech, before Deborah Williams took that shot, had taken 3 outside shots the last 4 possessions.
Misty Lamb's rebound gets it going. Nice no-look pass. And down low the foul as Mara Cunningham started to go up. But a great look to her from Rhonda Blades. Coming up later, we're on our way to Missoula, Montana for the West Regional Championship game. One of these teams, Tech or Colorado, will go to the Final Four for the first time. No other Southwest Conference team has gone other than Texas, and never has a Big 8 team made it to the Final Four. Of course, the Big 10 took care of their jinx already today, haven't they?
Double. Exactly. Iowa and Ohio State making their travel arrangements for Atlanta.
On the transition, Nicole Collins has it for the Lady Techsters. Out on top, Deborah Williams.
I like the combination that Tech has in the game now. Williams with a great jump shot. Whitehurst with the ability to take the ball to the hole.
And she comes up with the ability to find the ball again after missing. Tech really working on the offensive glass. And the loose ball pulled down by Misty Lamb. Play is ragged. It's still 7-5. Nobody can get the ball into the hoop.
Misty Lamb, eyes big as Texas, with waiting for the basketball, had an outstanding advantage over her defender the last possession.
Rhonda Blades running the Vanderbilt motion offense.
Here's where Vanderbilt has its advantage. They get a lot of movement on the offensive end, players setting picks, cutting through the lane.
And even without Heidi Gillingham, they're pretty big. They can get a lot of offensive rebounds.
Isolation. Oh, nice.
Rhonda Blades all the way, plus drawing the foul.
tell you, day one of basketball, when somebody's in your shirt, take them to the basket. And Rhonda Blaze did a great job that time.
Foul on Raquel Spurlock.
And he may not look happy, but he's happy. Jim Foster is happy about that possession.
Not long. You can go 4 minutes without scoring, and about 4 minutes later be tied in the game. Usually you dig yourself a deeper hole than that. Rhonda Blades, a 77% free throw shooter, and she's got the three-point play.
Vanderbilt, you correct me if I'm wrong, Bob. Vanderbilt with the first lead on the night.
Yep, they trailed 7-0 at one point. Now they lead 8-7. Right side, it won't go for Vicki Johnson.
I'll tell you, not the shot Tech wants to take. They've got great penetrators. They've got to cut that zone to pieces.
Nice look inside, and then foul from behind is Misty Lamb. She got a great entry pass from the right wing by Mara Cunningham. Ohio State knocked off Virginia today in Richmond. Iowa playing at home. Carver Hawkeye Arena knocked off Tennessee, the top seed. Hard to call it an upset when you've got 13,000 people screaming for you, and you're the number 2 seed.
Yeah. And here we see Tech inserting another big player, Jackson, in the ballgame for the first time this afternoon, along with Spurlock. But on that last possession for Vanderbilt, I want to make a real quick note. A lot of people don't think Vandy's a good transition team. They are excellent in the transition game. They don't like to take the basketball all the way to the basket. They will step out and take the three-point shot. But you've got to always be aware of them pushing the basketball in transition.
Misty Lamb, a 71% shooter. Misses both. And the rebound for Joanna Jackson. 8-7, 9 minutes in. We're headed for about a 25-23 halftime score unless the scoring pace picks up. Nothing shy about Pam Thomas. She was more in her range that time. Still cannot hit.
Yeah, that's a good take by Thomas, the kind of penetration you need against the zone as tough as Vandy. She's got to get more on balance and take the shot.
On the blade. There's Julie Powell working off the pick.
It doesn't matter who the 5 is on the floor for Tech. You can bet everybody is intense, everybody's enthusiastic on defense.
Shot clock was down to 4 when Misty Lamb let that short one go. The good thing about this for Vanderbilt is Leon Barmore's team has not taken any kind of control at all with Heidi Gillingham on the bench with 2 fouls. So Jim Foster can afford to sit her down for a while in a one-point game that hasn't even reached double figures yet. 10 seconds from the midway point, first half.
And one of the things we have to remember is that Tech's offense is not centered around its inside players. So there's no way they're going to look to take full advantage of Gillingham being on the bench. I think what the guards can do is penetrate and get the basketball into the post player's hands for easy shots like that one.
Well, it looked easy, but Spurlock really bombed one off the glass.
Here's where Vandy can take advantage of Tech's pressure defense. Force Tech to play one-on-one defense, take them to the basket.
Maura Cunningham did just that. And as is usually the case, when a close-in shot gets missed, a teammate gets an offensive foul trying to get over the top for the rebound. That time it looked like Julie Powell with her first. There's LaShawn Brown, a sophomore out of Cleveland Heights High School in Ohio. Deborah Williams out of Austin High School in Houston will have a seat. One of those outstanding Tech freshmen. Look at the shooting.
Continues to be great. Tech at 19, Vandy at 23. Both teams in their respective games the other night shot poorly from the field in the first half. Here's that three-pointer we talked about, them spotting up to shoot.
Julie Powell gets it down. She's got a pair of threes tonight. She's got some big-time shooting stats. 54 in field goals, 44 in three-pointers, and you don't want to foul her late. She's an 85% free throw shooter. Vandy's biggest lead, 11-7. In fact, they've scored 11 straight points. Whitehurst takes her person to the baseline, and she's got 4.
And you saw that all night against Southwest Missouri State. That's what Whitehurst has to do on offense. She cannot be content taking the outside shot. She has to force Vandy's zone to shift by putting the ball on the floor and taking it to the bucket.
And that one broke about a 10-minute Louisiana Tech scoreless streak. Too tall for Cunningham from Powell. Pardon me, it was Misty Lamb she was looking for down low. Jim Foster served in Vietnam, coached junior high and high school boys basketball. 13 years at St. Joseph. 100% of his players graduated in 13 years. Nice jumper.
Hey, that'll pull that zone out. That'll pull the zone right out.
Kentucky a big winner in the NCAA. Kansas starting to pull away from Indiana.
Nice take. Nice defense. Nice defense as well.
Hard to the hole. Shelley Girard drawing the foul. That one will be on Louisiana Tech's Dewana Jackson.
Tech's whole defensive strategy on the inside is their territory. If you'll notice, the post players are not looking to stand up and contest the shot. They are blocking shots. They want to intimidate.
Lisa King checks in for Vanderbilt, and there's number 22, Ginger Jarrett.
Girard, a first-team All-SEC selection, as well as mentioned earlier, the captain on this team, and the first Vanderbilt player in the game against Southwest Missouri State to hit a three-pointer, and it didn't come until about 3 minutes remaining in the ball game.
And she's 4 points from 1,000 now for her career. Good, tough rebound, Danielle Whitehurst. Vandy leads 12-11, under 8 minutes to go. First half, low-scoring game. LaShawn Brown can't pick it up. It would have been a double dribble. She had to hope for help from a teammate, and then Tech very fortunate to get out of that tight situation with a foul on Vandy's Shelley Girard.
Foster not happy at all.
Time out on the floor, 7:45 to go. Vandy by 1.
They're breaking barriers in the carpet industry. They're shattering the prices of the competition. They're smashing the mold on how you used to buy carpets. They're Ramsey's 2 Carpet Mart. Quality name brand carpets at wholesale prices. Ramsey's 2 Carpet Mart. Previously only available to builders and contractors, now available to you. No hype, no gimmicks. Just low wholesale prices on quality carpets. Ramsey's 2 Carpet Mart. Breaking down carpet prices before they break you.
The Blue Lagoon, when you need to be looking your best. The Blue Lagoon, 288 Blair's Road, Northeast.
Continues, but the excitement has definitely changed. Don't miss semifinal thrills at the National Invitation Tournament. UAB faces Georgetown and Providence meets Minnesota. Monday night, live on ESPN.
There are 3 things we all should do every day. You laugh, you think, and you cry. That's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
The B Foundation for Cancer Research.
Don't give up, Jimmy B. Don't ever give up.
Vanderbilt shooting 38% from three-point range this year. 2 of 3 tonight. Jim Foster talks about the three-pointer.
It isolates our low-post players one-on-one. And, you know, I think Heidi's shooting 63%. Maud Cunningham, her backup, shooting 61%. So they're very difficult to guard in a one-on-one situation. So if we spread the floor, take advantage of the 3, and the other team has to extend their defense, then we have that one-on-one situation. If they don't extend the defense, then we have the 3.
Well, their inside game missing a bit right now. Heidi Gillingham on the bench with 2 fouls for quite a while now.
Their outside side game is the best thing they have going right now. And the best thing about Vanderbilt standing out there is that they're not pretending to be able to make that three. So they not only isolate a post player, they're a sure threat to knock down the three as well.
Vicki Johnson, the last miss for Tech. Lisa King, who's got the ball, had the rebound.
Oh, post player's wide open. Wide open. A second too late.
Maura Cunningham trying to receive the bounce pass, and LaShawn Brown playing the denial has evidently picked up her second foul.
In this game, you're not going to be open in the post area for long, especially with the quickness of Brown and Jackson, who are both in the ball game right now for Tech.
Maura Cunningham, MVP of the SEC tournament, will step to the line. She had 50 points in 3 tournament games.
And Maura, unlike a lot of players who've had knee injuries, is recovering from one last season, but doesn't wear a knee brace at all.
Misty Lamb headed back in for the Commodores, as is Julie Powell. Lisa King sits down, so does Ginger Jarrett.
Cunningham 3 of 4 from the line against Southwest Missouri State is perfect on the night.
Vandy by 3, 7:10 to go, first half. Bob Carpenter, Fran Harris, and Nacogdoches, the Midwest Regional Championship game on the campus of Stephen F. Austin State University.
And here's where Thomas takes that player all the way to the basket, make him pick you up, then dish it off to the post player.
Thomas only goes 5-3. There's a good dump down, and the ball finished in by Joanna Jackson. That gets it back to a one-point game. Misty Lamb back out on top. Julie Fowler on the perimeter for Shelley Gerard. And we've got a Whitehurst foul away from the ball. That would be 2 on Danielle.
Whitehurst the other night played, as you mentioned, for 40 minutes and virtually foul-free in that ball game. Had maybe 1 foul in that ball game. Already with 2 on the night.
Kansas with the upset of Indiana in the Midwest Final. They're headed to the Final Four. Kentucky, no problem with Florida State today. A 25-point win. You don't see that often in the Elite 8.
No, you don't.
And the free throw swished by Misty Lamb, her first point. She came up big for the Commodores in the SEC tournament. How many #1 teams in the nation didn't even win their conference? Vanderbilt didn't. They tied with Auburn 9-2 behind 11-0 Tennessee. But they won the tournament in wins over Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Georgia. They lead here by 3.
Now Tech in the ballgame with some of its best offensive creators. As I speak, Pam Thomas taking it to the basket against Vandy on the left side.
From Nacogdoches, Texas to spring training. Coming up tomorrow from Phoenix, the Cubs and A's. Mark Grace trying to get that sweet swing back for Chicago. And Mark McGuire, one of the Bash brothers for Oakland. It's the Cubs and Athletics, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Sunday night on ESPN.
Thomas is 76.
And Thomas on the free throw.
I was going to say she's a 76 free throw shooter.
And she has 5 points on the night. Just over 6 minutes to go. Tight ball game in Nacogdoches. Ball movement there by Misty Lamb. Right side, Lamb can't knock it down. Rebound, Danielle Whitehurst running with it, Pam Thomas. She really likes to push it, doesn't she? Whitehurst gets the roll, a half dozen for Danielle.
The iron was kind to Danielle, but we may be on our way to setting a new NCAA first half low in terms of point record. I believe the record is 36.
Well, there's no way we're reaching 36.
Not with over 5 minutes remaining.
Now, is that 36 total or per team?
36 points and a half. One team has.
Rhonda Blades. We may not reach 36 total. Out on top, Blades will refire the offense as the shot clock moves down to 15. 5:10 to go in the half. Vandy down by a point. Trying to post up Maura Cunningham. Finally receives it, and she gets a nice roll on the turnaround. A half dozen for Maura. Vandy back on top.
You know who's been relatively quiet with Louisiana Tech is Vicki Johnson. She can explode for some points, but she hasn't done a whole lot.
2 field goals in a row for Danielle Whitehurst. And she shoots her team back on top. 4.5 minutes to go. Looks like Vandy is going to keep Heidi Gillingham on the bench the rest of the way here in the first half. They don't want her to pick up her third.
Oh, we had a major height advantage with Lamb. Whitehurst has to switch on the pick.
Danielle Whitehurst going to work offensively. And some good work at the defensive end as well.
But she got lucky on that one. Lamb definitely had her pinned to the outside for the pass. Deborah Williams.
Whitehurst working around the perimeter, finding her opening. Misty Lamb pulls it down. Under 4 minutes to go first half. A good dump down to Cunningham. Jump hook won't go. Whitehurst active everywhere with the rebound. Starts the break. Here comes Neal. And the iron stuffed that shot. Way out there. Shelley Gerard trying to set a pick. Couldn't even set it moving. Cam Thomas was moving so quickly right by her. Kendra Neal out there checking Rhonda Blades. And it'll be Neal with her first.
The shot clock had gotten down to about 5 seconds for Vandy. They got lucky on that one. Louisiana Tech with great defensive position and then the little reach at the end.
Boy, team fouls really piling up on Tech. Unofficially, 11 team fouls. This is women's basketball. They don't shoot the 2 at 10 fouls. They stay at the 1 and 1. She'll have to make that first one. On the Blades with her 4th point.
Blades in the game against Southwest Missouri State. Or actually, excuse me, Stephen F. Austin was 6 of 9 from the line.
And she's a perfect 3 for 3 here this evening. Time out on the floor with 3:22 to go first half. The number 1 team back on top.
Final question, ladies. How would you save the planet?
Tax credits for education. Aggressive environmental legislation. Which planet?
Why do pageants still grate on the curve?
Queen of the entire planet.
Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. With a beer this different,
What a surprise.
it's no contest.
You can go all out. You don't have to smell like it. If you use an Old Spice. And that's not some promise, because you got proof.
Ice them.
The Old Spice fights wetness, kills bacteria, so it works. Man, does it work. The proof? She's all the proof I need.
Old Spice antiperspirant for great odor protection. Demand proof, not promises.
If there's anyone who can appreciate the Comfort Loom waistband, it's Riddick Bowe.
Here, Daddy.
Thanks, Junior.
Fruit of the Loom has woven thousands of softness fibers into a cushion of comfort so gentle on the skin, you can barely feel it.
Feel better now, Daddy?
Much better than the other guy, Junior.
Comfort Loom from Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
The old stone fort that dates back to 1779 here in the oldest city Texas, Nacogdoches. And here we are at the Johnson Coliseum, the campus of Stephen F. Austin. We've got to mention those Lady Jacks of Stephen F. Austin. They had a great year, could not get by Vanderbilt the other night. The Lady Jacks, coached by Gary Blair, had a great year. Couldn't quite make it to tonight's championship game on their home court. A lot of their fans, though, are here enjoying the action, and we appreciate that. Pam Thomas, the miss, and then she commits the foul. Louisiana Tech has gotten a reprieve from the governor, I guess you might say. They've got 4 freshmen now. 3 of those were sophomores, but they got a reprieve from Prop 48 because they retook a test and passed it. And they've got 3 players now, Vicki Johnson, Raquel Spurlock, and Deborah Williams, who are now considered freshmen. And boy, that's great news for the next 3 years for Leon Barmore.
Great news for Tech. Bad news for the people in the Sun Belt Conference, as well as the people around the country.
Western Kentucky tied Tech 13-1 in the Sun Belt. And the free throw down by Julie Powell, her 7th point.
Powell, great free throw shooter, in fact, in the top 5 in the NCAA in free throw percentage in the country this year.
Prop 48 is unheard of at Vanderbilt. Such an outstanding academic school. All 5 of their starters, plus Lisa King, made the SEC All-Academic team this year. 6 players from one team, including the entire starting lineup.
Last year, Vandy set a record for the number of players on that team. 9 players on the All-Academic team.
Well, class is in session, and Vandy leads by 3. Good rebound by the guard down there, Rhonda Blades.
That's great hands.
Julie Powell taken off the ball by Pam Thomas, who did a great job of getting back on defense. Vandy will keep it.
That was just outstanding hustle by Thomas here. In fact, Thomas was the player who got it taken on the offensive end, then hustled all the way down, presence of mind to get the basketball, get a hand on the ball, and not get the foul call.
Left wing, ball dumped down. The turnaround, Cunningham won't go. Again over the baseline. If Vandy hits their shots down low, they could have a big lead in this ballgame.
Well, what Vandy has done is they're very well aware of the inside play for Louisiana Tech, and they're not taking it all the way to the basket.
Chris Fowler, Nancy Lieberman-Klein, a complete look at today's NCAA tournament action. They had a close game in Richmond and one in Iowa City that was closer than the final score would seem to indicate. They'll have it all for you, plus a preview of tonight's game later on when Tech plays Colorado. That's Texas Tech out in Missoula, Montana. Steve Visiak and Cheryl Miller out there in Big Sky Country to call that one tonight. We'll join that one in progress when this one finishes in Nacogdoches. Alana Jackson out there at a high post. Pam Thomas swings it. Penetration for Deborah Williams. Right baseline shot will not go, and Rhonda Blades really pulling down some rebounds. Ball kept alive by Julie Powell. Vandy still with it. A pass by Renee Allen, who just checked in. And the 2-pointer left side for Misty Lamb.
She's a 54% field goal shooter. If you let her stand out there, she can hit that shot.
Vandy stretching it a bit, leading by 5. The 3 short from Johnson. There's Blades picking up another loose ball.
And here's the transition of Vanderbilt. Step back, take the 3-pointer.
Won't go for Julie Powell. Renee Allen has the rebound, and Vandy still has it on the baseline.
And right now, Tech not respecting the transition game of Vanderbilt. Early in the ballgame, they were getting back nicely on defense. Now they've got a 3-on-2 situation. Vandy, that is, has a 3-on-2 situation each time for the last 3 possessions.
1:13 to go before halftime. Vandy with the ball, up by 5. Just inside the arc. That shot was blocked partially by LaShawn Brown, and Vandy will get it back. And the Tech bench cannot believe it. The stare from Leon Barmore. Comparing tonight in their season stats, Vanderbilt only shooting half as well. Louisiana Tech shooting a little better than half as well as they normally do.
I credit Tech's defense for Vandy's poor shooting. Tech held Southwest Missouri State at 30% in the semifinal game.
June Powell got a great pass there, but couldn't knock down the close-in shot. We're down to 50 seconds to go first half. Johnson found an opening in the middle there, got her own rebound, and then she was knocked off the ball, down on the baseline. Good hustle by Renee Allen, but Tech will keep it with 42 seconds in the half.
What we haven't seen Tech do consistently tonight is their trademark, and that go to the offensive boards with tenacity.
Allen swings it, Danielle Whitehurst. There's a 12-second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. LaShawn Brown gets it over the iron. 4 points for her, a 3-point game. Vandy now can play for the last shot. Shot clock is not a factor.
Well, LaShawn Brown averages 5 points and 2 rebounds, but Tech has to get the basketball inside to her to force Vandy to play honest defense in that zone.
Vandy took that shot about 5 or 6 seconds before they had to. Nicole Collins for Whitehurst, and they'll turn it over, and that's how the first half will end. A hectic pace, but not a lot of scoring. And Heidi Gillingham will go into the second half with no points, 2 rebounds, 2 fouls, but Vandy survived very well with her not in the game. Chris Fowler, a couple of teams that are better than they played so far tonight.
Yeah, Bob, defense is dominating, and despite Gillingham being shut out, it is the Lady Commodores, just the plain Commodores, they prefer it that way, up by 3 points. Sansa Lieberman-Klein joining us throughout all of the NCAA Women's Regional Finals. We're going to talk now about the game that was played earlier today, the Midwest game, Iowa and Tennessee. The Lady Vols had won the national title in the last 3 odd-number years.
Well, I think it was the toughest region of all. This could have been the finals, the championship game, but somebody had to lose, and unfortunately for Tennessee, it just wasn't their day. 2
of the top 4 ranked teams. Iowa, though, playing on their home floor. That's a big disadvantage for Pat Summitt in front of 13,000 fans. Ridiculous. The top seed should have to play on the road. Hawkeyes led throughout. Lori Allen to Nicole Tunsil, Latia Jackson, a 9-point lead for Iowa. Lady Vols would hang tough on defense. Nikki Caldwell picks up the ball, leads the break, and Tiffany Woosley finishes the play, but it wasn't enough. And an emotional Vivian Stringer is headed to the Final Four. 72-56 is the final. Jackson had 17 of her 21 in the second half, and Lori Aaron added 18 points and 4 assists. So Iowa becomes the first Big Ten team to ever get to the Final Four, and Tennessee's streak of odd-number years is over.
Well, Tennessee's streak is over, but they have so much talent, they'll be fine for the future. But now Iowa becomes the second team in the Big Ten to get into the tournament, and before today, no Big Ten team had ever been there. So it is a big day for the conference.
That's right, Ohio State winning earlier today. We'll show you highlights of that game in just a couple of minutes. It's the Buckeyes and the Hawkeyes in one semifinal game in Atlanta. Right now, the Commodores up by 3 points over the Texans. We'll have more at halftime right after this.
It always happens at the worst time. A sudden attack of diarrhea. And you'd give anything to get back in control. Introducing Pepto Diarrhea Control. It often stops diarrhea the first time you take it. Nothing works better than this. Take control with new Pepto Diarrhea Control. Soon you can get 1-dose relief in caplets, too. Watch for new Pepto Diarrhea Control caplets.
Why is Embassy Suites twice the hotel? First, you get a suite with 2 big rooms. Evening beverages are on the house, not on the bill. And our cook-to-order breakfast is free of charge. Obviously, this isn't your typical hotel. It's twice the room, twice the comfort, and twice the value. And it's only at Embassy Suites. Twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
I had not decided that I was going to participate in athletics when I went to Luther. I came from a high school that really didn't offer athletic opportunities for girls, so I didn't have that in my experience. I was a physical education major at Luther, and my academic advisor strongly recommended that I go out for at least one team. I had to balance not only academics and athletics, but I was also a work-study student. And it taught me, though, great organizational skills, because I only had so much time in the day. I also learned a lot about cooperation skills and being a team player. As a member of an appellate court,
we sit in panels of either 3 or 5 on each case that we work on. So we're not making independent decisions. We're working as team players as we make our decisions. And what I learned in athletics about being a team player has really been helpful in this particular job.
This message provided by the NCAA.
Welcome back. Halftime of the Midwest Regional Final. It's Vandy by 3. Now, following this game, we'll join the West Regional Final in progress. It's Texas Tech on a 16-game winning streak against Colorado, the team that knocked out the top seed in the West, Stanford. Now, back to our game. As Bob Carpenter mentioned, not the prettiest of first halves. It was ugly on offense, but I guess a lot of the credit has to go to good defense on both sides.
Well, great. You have two teams that played very good defense, and it's very fortunate for Vandy because 6'10" Heidi Gillingham has not had a very good first half, but they don't rely solely on her. They have great outside shooters, and the most important thing for them is they utilize that. Here you can see one sequence where Whitehurst is penetrating against that man-to-man defense of Vanderbilt, and Shelley Gerard is able to get into the passing lane and pick up the ball after the forced drive. Now, in transition, it's important to find where your players are. Here, Whitehurst does not see Julie Powell. That is a 45% shooter right there. You have got to find her, because if not, it's nothing but the bottom of the net.
I think all Vanderbilt teams are good from the perimeter. Eddie Fogler would like to have a 6'10" center like Heidi Gillingham on his men's team.
Well, anytime you have great shooters, and shooters don't have to be male or female. They just have to be able to put the ball in the basket.
That's for sure. Earlier today, now the East Regional Final, Virginia took on Ohio State. Virginia had known frustration in the past 3 years, but in the Final Four, Ohio State, as we mentioned, had never been to the Final Four. No Big Ten team ever had. Audrey Bercier, the outlet to Avril Roberts for the hoop. Buckeyes by 13 early. The Lady Cavs, though, battle back. Zena Evans misses the jumper. Heather Bird, the center, though, in her final game, gets the rebound, and she's fouled. A 9-2 Lady Cavs run. They were down by 6. In the second half, Evans pass, stolen by Roberts, who takes it the other way. Now it's a 4-point Ohio State lead. 6 seconds to go. Evans on the line. Misses. Bird. The follow makes it a 2-point game. After a missed Buckeye free throw, it's 75-74. Lady Cavs call a timeout. The 3 by Evans doesn't count. Then both teams exchange turnovers. 1/10 of a second to go. Lady Cavs ball. The inbound pass is stolen, and Ohio State escapes 75-73. Roberts had 25 points. Bercy had 20 points and 5 rebounds. So the Buckeyes became the first Big Ten team ever to make it to the Women's Final Four. They move into the semifinal game against Iowa. Those teams split during the regular season, each winning on the home floor. So who gets the edge on the neutral floor? Put you on the spot.
I think anytime you're on a neutral floor, they know each other as well as anybody in the conference, so there will be no secrets. I think right now Iowa is on a very emotional roller coaster. If they can sustain that because of the death of Vivian Stringer's husband, Bill, I think they have a chance to win the whole thing. But Ohio State is tough. They've got great freshmen in Katie Smith. They've got great all-around talent, and Nancy Darsh is one of the best.
It's always been the SEC teams, the ACC, the Southern teams that have dominated women's basketball. Why the Big Ten rise, and are they now on a par with the other conferences?
Well, I think you're getting more support and media coverage in the different conferences now. Usually it was the ACC, or as you alluded to, the SEC. But there's a lot of talent out there, and they're seeking scholarships at other schools, and the Big Ten, the Big 8, the Southwest Conference, a lot of the women's conferences now are benefiting from Title IX and more scholarships out there.
Well, there is one SEC team trying to get into the Final Four. It's Vanderbilt, up by 3 over the Lady Texers at halftime. We'll get back to that in just a few minutes. And when we continue from the studio, we'll look at the men's NCAA Tournament regional final games from today.
Lots of stores offer 3-room carpet deals, but not like Carpetland USA. Why? Because our 3-room carpet deals have it all. Featuring Stainmaster carpet, certified and warranted by DuPont. And we offer more 3-room deals than anyone, featuring our lowest DuPont Stainmaster 3-room price ever. We'll even throw in a free area rug with any 3-room deal, and no payments for 6 months. It's Carpetland's great 3-room carpet deal through Saturday only.
People say some TV commercials are overloaded with hype. So instead, we'd like to offer you something meaningful. The Coldwell Banker Spring Open House Celebration, with thousands of homes open to see across North America. It's likely you'll find one that's right for you. That's no exaggeration. And that's our TV commercial.
South Anchor Hedges, First Avenue and Blair's Forest Way.
As a college athlete, I'm part of a team. My actions, both on and off the court, affect everyone, not just me. I can't be selfish. Drug abuse is selfish. Be a team player. Don't use drugs.
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
The tradition continues, but the excitement has definitely changed. Don't miss semifinal thrills at the National Invitation Tournament. UAB faces Georgetown and Providence meets Minnesota. Monday night, live on ESPN.
And welcome back. Of course, 2 of the 4 regional finals in the men's NCAA tournament going on today. Florida State taking on Kentucky and Charlotte in the Southeast region. The Wildcats known for the quick knockout in the NCAA tournament so far, just devastating teams early. It didn't happen with Florida State. They hung on. Jamal Mashburn, the air ball. Charlie Ward, the touchdown pass to Rodney Dobart. Patino doesn't get the early knockout, but still led by 8 points at halftime. Then they would dominate the second half. Jared Prickett, the lay-in. He was tough off the bench. KU by 15. Then Prickett, the strong move, a career-high 22. Jamal Mashburn taking home the souvenir. Rick Pitino has reason to smile. He gets to the Final Four with the second team, of course, with Providence in '87. They out-rebounded the Seminoles 51-24. Bob Sura had 17. Travis Ford had 19 for the Wildcats. Then this evening, the Midwest Regional Final at St. Louis. Kansas, a very quiet number 2 seed, not picked by many people to get out of that bracket, taking on the top-seeded Hoosiers. The Jayhawks had won the regular season meeting over Bob Knight's club at the Hoosier Dome. Kansas by 4 at halftime. Darren Hancock down the baseline for the dunk. They would build the lead to 9. Cheney keeping the Hoosiers close. The turnaround, he had 22. But Kansas, muscle inside. Richard Scott, the fall-away jumper in the foul. It's a 7-point lead. They're hugging on the Jayhawks bench. Then the rejection. Pauly against Cheney. Kansas wins another regional final. Since 1971, the Jayhawks are 6-0 when they get to the regional final. 4 of those in the last 7 years. Calbert Cheney ending his career with 22 points. So Kansas will take on the North Carolina-Cincinnati winner, and it's the Michigan-Temple winner that will now take on Kentucky in the Final Four.
Well, I love Kentucky. I enjoy watching them get out to the strong start that you alluded to earlier. But Pitino's team seems really relaxed right now and enjoying the tournament. Sometimes you look at a Bobby Knight team and everybody seems real tense. Kentucky seems to have things under control right now. They're getting great scoring production off their bench. Mashburn, Travis Ford is playing very well right now. They have all the chemistry that good teams need at this point in the season.
They look real strong, replacing 4 guys from last year and now still getting to the Final Four. In case you haven't heard some coaching news, Bobby Cremins is either staying or going back to Georgia Tech, depending on how you look at it. He announced that he had changed his mind. He said he couldn't sleep at night since announcing that he was leaving the coach's alma mater, South Carolina. And so South Carolina will now have to look elsewhere for a coach. Cremins back at Georgia Tech. When we come back, we'll get back to the second half of our regional final game. Vanderbilt up at halftime by 3. And the NIT reminder continues on Monday with the semifinals starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
The 10th common foul in each half brings a 2-shot foul for the shooter in the men's game. When the women reach the 10th foul in a half, the shooter still only gets the 1-and-1.
Mark and Rennie and little Lindsay are a young family just starting out. They don't have a lot of money for life insurance. I'm their State Farm agent, Gaylord Mooseman. Instead of giving Mark and Rennie a big life insurance sales talk, I did a lot of listening. And we came up with a plan that's going to work for their budget and little Lindsay's future, too. State Farm agents are good listeners because we want you to have life insurance you can live with.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Pizza Hut. Oh, great! Your other pizza. Oh, another one. Salad? Yeah. And you also get... Let me guess. Dessert. Dessert.
Get 2 medium
one-topping pizzas, a salad for $4, even cookies. Dinner for $4, just $13.99. A great reason to stop and smell the pizza.
You forgot to pay me.
Red, irritated eyes can say things about you that aren't true. People can think your red eyes look worn out, upset, stressed out, even if you're not. Don't let red eyes send the wrong message about you. Get the red out with Visine, the eye drop recommended by more eye doctors. Visine Extra cools, soothes, and moisturizes red, irritated eyes. Use Visine Extra and look as refreshed and confident as you can. Get the red out. Look your best.
What you feel for the sport, we feel for the shoes. K-Swiss, crafted with passion.
ESPN's NCAA basketball is brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and by Olympic Stain, America's #1 selling stain. Olympic protects wood beautifully.
Cheerleaders are always happy, but I know a couple of coaches who probably aren't real happy about shooting at this point. Vanderbilt leads at 24-21 at the half. Bob Carpenter back with Fran Harris. And, of course, one of the reasons for poor shooting is outstanding defense, and Vandy's been doing that to people all year long.
Well, Vandy, what Vandy's trying to do is force Louisiana Tech to take the outside shot. And here you see Johnson trying to penetrate, which is exactly what she needs to do. And then Vandy, in transition, we talked about it, spotting up, finding the person out there, money. Then you take a look at exactly what Louisiana Tech needs to do on the offensive end. Pick this zone apart by penetrating with the dribble. Whitehurst there with an excellent move toward the basket for the 2 points.
The shooting stats, 9 of 30, Louisiana Tech. Vanderbilt only 6 of 27. Rebounding is pretty much a toss-up. Not many turnovers, and three-pointers not a huge factor so far. Only 3 teams have scored 70 on that Vandy defense of Jim Foster this year, and I don't think that streak is in any danger tonight. Misty Lamb on the miss.
I know what Tech talked about it at halftime.
Pam Thomas all the way. Only Tennessee, Texas, and Alabama scored 70 on Vanderbilt, and it's a 1-point game now after Pam Thomas went coast to coast. Down to Heidi Gillingham. She can't stay with it.
Gillingham still very ineffective for Vanderbilt at this point. No points, 2 rebounds. Has not hit a shot, obviously, in that particular time. An opportunity for the basketball on offense with a miscue with the pass.
And she only played 4 minutes of the first half. Her teammates, though, stepped up the defense, and they were not hurt that badly when she could not play. Whitehurst really forcing the action. Couldn't knock that one down on the baseline. Last touch by Vanderbilt, and Tech will have it back. The winner will take on the winner of tonight's game out in Missoula in Texas Tech. And that great Cheryl Swoops of theirs takes on Colorado, team that knocked off Stanford.
Vandy still staying in the zone defense. Tech not getting the kind of penetration that can defeat Vandy. They're content right now with taking that outside shot. And that's exactly what Vandy wants them to do.
That was Misty Lamb's 10th rebound of the night. With Heidi Gillingham out of there, she had 4 points and 9 boards in the first half in 19 minutes of action. Here's Gillingham dribbling around Brown, missing badly. Not even close.
Gillingham's got to take that, make it happen. That's exactly what she needs to do. Early in the first half, Vandy had the one-on-one situation down low, did not take full advantage because they did not try to go around the defense.
Julie Powell on the rebound, and then the transition. She circles off a pick and receives it up on top. 2 minutes into the second half. Long three from Blades won't go. Gillingham keeps it alive. Looking for a way to the hoop, And LaShawn Brown commits her third foul.
And the Tech fans think Gillingham over the back of LaShawn Brown, but Gillingham, not a player who, 6'10" player who just stands there. She has great mobility, great versatility with moving towards the basketball.
Now Tech has a foul problem. They've got Brown with 3. Inbounds play came to Misty Lamb. Blades swings it left side, Powell. Gillingham posting up. Powell goes baseline. Out on top, Rhonda Blades. Plenty of time with the shot clock. A look down to Gillingham. Blades will drive. Brown cuts her off, and then Blades has to throw it at her to keep it in bounds. Pam Thomas wants to go all the way again. Tried to dish for Whitehurst, and 3 Commodores got back on defense.
A rare missed opportunity for Louisiana Tech. In that instance, Pam Thomas should have taken that basketball all the way for the hoop.
There's the big lob to Gillingham. Played beautifully by LaShawn Brown.
Nicely. You can't lob over a player with the quickness of LaShawn Brown and the jumping ability that Brown has. Whitehurst not going to take that shot, has not taken a three-pointer all season long.
Amy Brown got her own rebound, and she draws a foul on Gillingham.
It's Gillingham's third foul. On offense, Gillingham, nice job rolling down low to get the pass. Not going to get the lob. Once again, LaShawn Brown played defense beautifully, stepped through and got the interception.
Heidi Gillingham, her third, fouling a player who didn't play much because of fouls. Amy Brown only got 3 minutes on the floor in the first half because of her early 2 fouls. Looking for her first point.
Amy Brown, best pure shooter on this Louisiana Tech team in the game against Southwest Missouri State, had 4 points in 25 minutes and 4 rebounds.
And on this floor earlier this year, she was 10 out of 10 against Stephen F. Austin on the 2nd of February.
A great shooter.
Tech on top. Vandy has not scored in the second half, and we're 3 minutes and 20 seconds in.
That's a good pass.
Gillingham finally on the board. Great service from Rhonda Blades. Brown up at the high post. She drills the 15-footer, and the sophomore out of Livingston, Tennessee, has suddenly burst into the scoring column. Blades down deep. Shelley Gerard, good work off a pick, and picking up the loose ball has her first field goal.
Gerard only needs 5 points to join the elite 1,000-point club at Vanderbilt, and it has not come easy for her tonight.
She's within 2 now. There's Whitehurst driving.
Nice jump stop.
And she got the basket with a foul. Julie Powell on the foul, her second.
Here's Whitehurst taking a few people to school with the jump stop, basket, and the foul.
Danielle Whitehurst out of Shreveport, Southfield High School. She was an All-American there. A former Louisiana Player of the Year who averaged 33 a game in high school. The only senior on this Louisiana Tech team. Can't knock down the three-point play. But Tech will lead by a point as we near the 4.5-minute mark into the second half.
Good defense, good defense.
Whitehurst almost got the deflection out of bounds off Misty Lamb. Vanderbilt will have it when we come back. And a timeout on the floor with 15:31 to go. Tech leads by 1.
This is our latest concept car. Of course, before we could sell it to the general public, we'd have to tone down its 214 horsepower engine and replace its specially tuned performance suspension. So when do we plan on making these changes? We don't. Introducing Eagle Vision TSI, definitely not intended for the general public.
sealer can be devastating to wood. All-purpose water sealer's waterproof. So does Olympic WaterGuard for wood. But only Olympic has sunblock protection to fight sun damage, plus resists mildew, and has penetrating linseed oil to strengthen wood fibers. Olympic WaterGuard with 4-way wood protection, because wood needs more than an all-purpose water sealer.
What do all these police officers have in common?
My name is Patrolman James New, and I was shot once, Bob Parcell, and I was shot right above the heart.
Every year, more police officers are shot.
Point-blank range.
Yet fewer die, thanks to an innovative DuPont fiber called Kevlar in bullet-resistant vests.
Tina Dillard, and I was shot twice at close range.
Being a police officer is always going to be dangerous, but it doesn't have to be fatal. DuPont, better things for better living.
Louisiana Tech, unseeded in the NCAA tournament, 14th in the nation, leading #1 Vanderbilt by a point, and maybe the tone could be set by this first possession, second half, Fran, as Pam Thomas went all the way.
Well, I don't know what Louisiana Tech talked about at intermission, but it obviously was about taking control of the ball game and getting the tempo to go in their favor.
One way to take care of poor shooting is good defense, turning into easy baskets. Misty Lamb in the paint. Nice touch. He hit it over Amy Brown, and Misty Lamb with a half dozen. That puts Vanderbilt back on top. It's been a seesaw game the entire way. Louisiana Tech had an early 7-0 lead. There's Whitehurst swishing a 2. She has 12. Vanderbilt came back with 11 unanswered points, but ever since then, it's been real close. Gillingham can't knock it down, but a foul was drawn. Our quadruple header of NCAA women's basketball wraps up next. We'll join in progress the Red Raiders of Texas Tech and the Lady Buffs of Colorado out in Missoula, Montana. Winner of this game meets the winner of that one, and whoever wins that game will make their first trip to the Final Four in Atlanta. Steve Biziak and Cheryl Miller.
I don't know if you haven't seen Cheryl Swoop play basketball this season. She's well worth staying up for. Probably Texas Tech's all-time greatest player to play there. Swoops had about 53 points against Texas in the Southwest Conference tournament this season.
That was more points in Reunion Arena than Larry Bird or any NBA player ever scored. Heidi Gillingham with 3.
She's something to watch.
Colorado better be watching her.
If they can catch her. If they can catch her.
Tie game, under 15 minutes to go. Round for Whitehurst. No penetration.
That's a nice look.
Looking to move the ball. And Spurlock spins it over the iron. Raquel, a freshman from Donaldsonville, Louisiana, with her first basket.
And now we're seeing Tech on offense kick that zone apart. Pam Thomas is a nice dump pass down low. But it started with Whitehurst penetration.
Rhonda Blades out of control, throws it away. Thomas receives it from Johnson.
Sweet.
A lot of folks here from Louisiana, and they've got a 4-point lead to holler about.
Defense is Tech's offense. They make no qualms about that. You see Pam Thomas with the connection from Vicki Johnson on that last break.
Blades for Gillingham. Can't get it to drop. Gets her own rebound. That's what she can do. 5 points for Heidi, all in the second half. That makes it a 2-point game with 13:37 to go.
Vicki Johnson likes to go left. Hasn't really taken the basketball to the hole in this ball game.
Raquel Spurlock traveling before she could make up her mind on the move. Vanderbilt will make the substitution. Mara Cunningham flashing into your screen. Misty Lamb leaving as Leon Barmore sweats it out. His team 26-5. Well, shooting certainly looking better for everybody. 60% Tech, 50% Vandy in the second half. A miss by Cunningham. Here come the Lady Texters with Pam Thomas running again. Good reach. Rhonda Blades with the near steal.
better watch it. Nobody picked Thomas up in time. She could have easily taken that all the way to the basket.
Amy Brown had one rim out on her. Whitehurst gambling for the steal. Girard knows there has to be an opening somewhere.
Usually on the baseline, that's a set play.
And Girard has the follow after Powell's miss. 2 consecutive field goals for Vanderbilt on the offensive rebound. And a tie game.
The entire right side of the floor is so open for Louisiana Tech. They're doing a good job of overloading one side of the zone and then isolating for some creative play for Pam Thomas.
Well, how can you spot her? She's 5'3". She snuck in there and got the pass from the big person. There's a drive. It'll be a foul by Spurlock on the drive of Heidi Gillingham. Spurlock with her third.
Well, the official's definitely in position to make that call. It looked like great defense by Spurlock.
She has 3. LaShawn Brown has 3. There's Dewana Jackson checking back in. She gives him a little size at 6'3". Amy Brown with 4 second-half points will sit down. And at the line, Shelley Girard.
Spurlock with 3 blocks on the night against Southwest Missouri State. Thought she had that one clean.
6 points for Shelley Girard out of Gore, Oklahoma. She played 6-girl high school basketball. 3-on-3 on the offensive end. You really don't shoot many long-range shots. And now, under Jim Foster, she's become a very good outside shooter.
And had not taken a 3-point shot prior to Foster's coming to Vanderbilt.
Last year. Looks like she'll pick up the loose ball after the miss. Andy down by a point. Clock running just under 12 minutes to go. And a little bumping out on top. Pam Thomas gets her second.
Looks over at Barmore and tells him she's okay.
Officials timeout. 11:54 to go. It's been close all the way, and Tech leads by 1.
Reincarnation. The belief you can come back is just about anything. Why do some guys have all the luck? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. Because while luck may run out,
Happy birthday, Grandma.
For me.
true refreshment won't.
This reading material will give you an idea of how good the new Eagle Vision TSI really is. Of course, we think you'll find this reading material to be even more convincing. The new Eagle Vision TSI, a truly remarkable sports sedan. And remember, you read it here first.
Most people know State Farm sells car and homeowners insurance. Some people don't know State Farm sells life insurance, too. I'm State Farm Agent Cecil Burt. Our life insurance policies, our prices, and our financial ability to deliver on our promises, plus the good neighbor service State Farm agents are famous for, have made State Farm one of the largest of all life insurance companies and an outstanding life insurance value.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Louisiana Tech hanging right with the #1 team in the nation. Less than 12 minutes to go. Tech's had an unbelievable tradition in NCAA tournament history. They've been to the regionals 10 times. They're looking for their 8th Final Four, their 3rd national championship. And in the 12-year history of the NCAA tournament, 2 teams have been there every year. Louisiana Tech and the guys right above them, Tennessee, although the Volunteers were knocked out today.
But they definitely know how to get there. Barmore does such a tremendous job of getting his players to peak at the right time. A lot of people want to count Louisiana Tech out. Not a safe thing to do.
Not as long as they have Danielle Whitehurst. She leads all scorers with 14. And a 3-point Lady Techster lead.
Isolation by Vanderbilt. Shelley Powell.
Lauren Cunningham.
Nice
Nice turnaround, and she has 8. That's her first field goal in the second half. Back to a one-point game as we run down to 11 minutes remaining.
That's good hands. That's good hands.
Vanderbilt, after the turnover, a chance to take the lead. There's that motion offense, and Shelley Gerard really is the player in motion. All over the place with the ball, and a slap-away steal by LaShawn Brown.
So physical out there. Gerard goes to the baseline.
Williams, nice switch for Whitehurst, and it was Heidi Gillingham with the block.
She arrived down court just in time to get a piece of that.
Thomas dribbles open, gets the roll, and Pam has 13. 8 of those since halftime. Thomas, the junior, Whitehurst, the senior, really stepping up for Tech. There's Gillingham back to the basket. Way short on the turnaround. She's getting bumped by LaShawn Brown.
She's getting some major bumps inside, and no calls at this point in the game.
And Thomas. Luana Jackson, haven't seen her in a while. Whitehurst, the top of that matchup zone. Penetration for Pam Thomas. Whitehurst left side, well off. Vandy can let that one squirt out, and they'll have the possession.
Here's where Louisiana Tech has such an advantage in the transition game. Looking to go, push it down there, but not with the 6'10 player trailing closely behind it.
You're 6'10", you're never out of the play. If you can just get back, you've got a chance. And Heidi showed us that time. That cuts back into the lead on a good ball movement by Vandy. Maura Cunningham finishing. She has 10. And Tech's lead back to 1.
Whitehurst has left the game for Louisiana Tech, and we talk about how important she is to this team. The captain, the leader, the mother, everything. It'll be interesting to see how Louisiana Tech responds to her being on the bench.
Well, that's a rest stop for her. She'll be back in a hurry, I'm sure. Thomas for Johnson. Big shot from the right side. Vicky with her second field goal. She's still 10 under her average with 4. And that put her team up by 3. And any lead of more than 2 points seems pretty gigantic in this game. Oh, a bump there, and the official said play on.
You can't shoot over that. You've got to take that person to the hole.
Now the steal by Shelley Gerard. I really thought Maura Cunningham got bumped off the position there, but the officials, and there are only 2 in women's basketball, said play on. Looks like it's clear out for somebody in the right side. They're trying to get Julie Powell over there. There's a reach around by Thomas. Back underneath Blades, and she is fouled by Luana Jackson. Let's watch that play again. This is a simple entry pass.
How physical. Physical. Let's push her. Not 1 or 2 or 3 times. And that's where Cunningham takes advantage of her quickness to go around Jackson.
8:02 to go. Tech leads by 3. They're letting them play in Nacogdoches, and it's not good news for Heidi Gillingham and her teammates.
Shop Smoothacroft Sunday from noon until 5 p.m. for record-breaking savings with 4 months free interest. Save up to 50% on furniture, mattresses, baby furniture, custom draperies, even fine jewelry. Plus big savings on Smoothacroft's carpet, major home appliances, TVs, camcorders, and stereo sound. With 4 months free interest up to 24 months to pay. Smoothacroft's record-breaking sale. Shop Sunday noon to 5, ends Monday night at 9, downtown Cedar Rapids, of course.
Discover the West, the romantic West, the outlaw West, the real West. Hosted by Kenny Rogers on A&E. Thursdays at 8, 7 Central. It's quality you can count on from Cox Cable.
Speed Week, ESPN begins its Winston Cup coverage. We'll preview the Trans-South 500 from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. For the motorsports coverage you deserve, it's Speed Week, Sunday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern.
8:02 to go in Nacogdoches. A 3-point Louisiana Tech lead, 43-40, with a trip to the Final Four at stake. Bob Carpenter with Fran Harris. Now we have the added dimension of rough play out there. Looks like the team that's mentally tough will win this game.
I think you're exactly right. What Louisiana Tech is doing is taking it right to Vanderbilt. They're pushing it in transition. Vanderbilt has to do a similar, has to approach the game a similar way. Push it in transition, look for the three-point shot, or take it all the way to the basket.
And hit free throws helps too. Rhonda Blade's missing. Iowa at home beat Tennessee today. After the game in Richmond saw Ohio State knock off Virginia. Those two Big Ten teams to meet in Atlanta. Winner of this game takes on the winner of Texas Tech, Colorado. Will join in progress out in Missoula, Montana. This one is over. Look at the penetration by Vicki Johnson. And the foul.
Got to have the penetration off of the dribble. Tech with great guards in terms of creating offensive opportunities for themselves as well as their teammates. Vicki Johnson, explosive to the basket, has to use her quickness to get there, not only to score, but to put pressure on the defense.
Tech only shot 2 free throws in the first half. Made both of those. Vandy was 10 of 13. Vicki Johnson looking for her 6th point. And down low, LaShawn Brown kept it alive. A touch from Mara Cunningham of Vandy on the floor, and the Texters come up with it. Nicole Collins.
That is the offensive rebounding team that Tech has put on the floor 30 times this season.
Johnson at the high post. Amy Brown. Now they look right wing Nicole Collins. She's a left-hander. And they play her to the right side. Shot well short. Julie Powell and the Commodores will give her that drive.
Whitehurst read that like a book.
She has 16. She looked like a free safety lurking for a quarterback who wasn't looking. And it was an easy steal in 2. And it's a 5-point Tech lead.
You can never be too careless with the ball when you've got quickness, quick hands, and speed around.
That's Tech's largest lead. Down low, Vandy almost losing it. Misty Lamb triple teamed, and a foul on LaShawn Brown.
Good heads-up play by Powell, but she could see everything happening on the floor. Whitehurst as well as Powell. Powell should not have passed the basketball. Whitehurst, with her quickness, right there in the passing lane for the 2 points.
LaShawn Brown has to sit down with 4 points, 4 fouls. They've checked in Raquel Spurlock, who goes 6'4". That's Ginger Jared for Vanderbilt. Look at the disparity in free throws, but the percentage about the same.
Vandy's not going to miss a whole lot from the free throw line.
7 points for Misty Lamb. She came up big in the SEC tournament. In a 2-game span, had 36 points and 26 rebounds. She's in double figures rebounding today, and that's her 8th point. A 3-point game. Well under 7 minutes.
Tech has some of his best offensive threats in the game right now with Thomas, Johnson, Brown, and Whitehurst.
Won't go left side, Vicki Johnson. And Vandy will run with it.
That's pretty gutsy.
Ahead to Cunningham from Blades. They have to do well just to catch it and keep it in play. Mara Cunningham trying to face that basket, and Raquel Spurlock just wouldn't let her.
It's difficult. I know exactly what Cunningham is going through. You've got a body on you that's standing right in your space, but you don't have any room. You don't think you have any room to take it to the basket.
Rhonda Blades coming up with a loose ball for Vandy. under 6 minutes to go. Late. Good entry to Cunningham, and a turnaround, and Mora has a dozen.
So that's what I was trying to do a second ago.
Heidi Gillingham on the bench in a one-point game with 5:40 to go.
Vandy still forcing Tech to take that outside shot. They've got to close up the lane a little bit more and not allow that penetration.
Raquel Spurlock had her shot adjusted there by Mara Cunningham. Now Vandy with a chance to take the lead. We're down by 5 just moments ago. Garrett really in there because she's a good passer, and her entry pass results in foul number 4 on Raquel Spurlock. More hoops coming up on ESPN as we pass through the weekend and on into next week. From Madison Square Garden, the NIT semis, the early game, the Hoyas and Blazers at 7, and then the Friars of Providence, the Gophers of Minnesota, following that game around 9 o'clock Eastern time. Here's Ginger Jarrett. She doesn't score much for Vanderbilt, but the last 2 times down the floor, her passes have led to points and now a foul. That's exactly why she's out there, and she's filling her role perfectly. Mara Cunningham with 13. It's the unsung players who often get the game turned back in your favor.
And that's what I like about both of these teams. They have no individual stars. Everybody has a responsibility on the floor, and everybody sees that they get it done. Jarrett is out there also to give Blade some rest in terms of bringing the basketball down each time down the floor.
Cunningham hits them both. She has 14. Vandy leads by 1, and with 3 timeouts still to work with, Leon Barmore will call his second. You get 4 in women's basketball. He'll talk about it with possession down by 1.
Status, clothes, money. You are special. Do the boogie. Say wow.
It's nice to know that if you drive an Eagle Vision, you can be something nobody else is. Yourself.
Hot coffee and steak in front of strangers at 30,000 feet? Not till I switched. Now I fix it and forget it.
That's good. When people are watching you this closely, you just can't be worried about your dentures. That's why I fix it and forget it.
Fix-It-Dent holds stronger than any other adhesive. It even stands up to the hottest liquids.
Sister, Grandpa?
He never would have tried this with his old adhesive.
For the strongest hold you can get, Fix-It-Dent and forget it.
Red, irritated eyes can say things about you that aren't true. People can think your red eyes look worn out, upset, stressed out, even if you're not. Don't let red eyes send the wrong message about you. Get the red out with Visine, the eye drop recommended by more eye doctors. Visine Extra cools, soothes, and moisturizes red, irritated eyes. Use Visine Extra and look as refreshed and confident as you can. Get the red out. Look your best.
Vanderbilt women's basketball, the first team in university history to ever be ranked number 1. They've got everything to lose here as Jim Foster looks for the Final Four. Tech's shooting has really improved, and Vanderbilt making its living from the free throw line right now, with Heidi Gillingham largely ineffective most of the game.
Because of that foul trouble, Gillingham, who averages about 28 minutes a game, has spent a lot of her time tonight on the bench.
Vandy with the ball and the lead with 4:40 to go. Their men's team ranked as high as number 5 this year. Knocked out of the NCAA men's tournament last night. An SEC team has already fallen victim today, Tennessee. Long miss by Shelley Gerard. Not many players have that kind of range.
Stepped in the gym and took that shot.
Working off the post. Whitehurst with the turnaround in the paint. And over the back, LaShawn Brown has just fouled out.
Now, Tech at a disadvantage if both Brown and Spurlock have to be on the bench because so much of the game tonight has been putting a body on them inside, forcing them to shoot over you. Vandy not having a whole lot of success shooting right over Louisiana Tech. And if Brown has to go to the bench, you definitely have the height advantage with Vanderbilt.
Sean Brown will lead with 4 points, couple of rebounds, and fouls out with 4:13 to go. Looks like they brought Amy Brown in. They will lose some size, but they'll gain some shooting.
Yeah, and Spurlock looks like she's getting ready to check in for somebody.
Well, now they have their size back. But she's playing with 4 fouls. At the other end at the line, Misty Lamb. There's Raquel Spurlock, the freshman. Didn't play last year, high school All-American 2 years ago. Misty Lamb, a 71% shooter. It's way short.
I'm going to say that is what is keeping Vanderbilt in the basketball game.
Dan Thomas, Vicki Johnson. We had Gerard off the floor.
Not real good patience by Tech.
I thought the first shot she had a chance for was better than the one she took.
You're exactly right.
Gerard looking to dump it down to Cunningham. Mara off the post, left side Jared. Watch for her passing. And on top Blades. High post Cunningham. Shot clock at 12. And rolling off the pick, but missing was Misty Lamb.
You can't ask for a better cut from a player and a pass that was more on target there from Lamb up top.
Ball game that looks like it'll end up in the 50s. Tech came in averaging 78. Vanderbilt 76 points per game. On the left side, it goes down for Raquel Spurlock, her second field goal.
Spurlock averages 9 points and 6 rebounds, but the job she did best the other night against Southwest Missouri State was defense. She played tough defense, forced Southwest Missouri State into some terrible shots inside.
Cunningham beats Spurlock, got the foul call. If it's on Spurlock, she will be gone. And that will be 5 on her. In the men's tournament, Midwest Regional, Kansas knocked off Indiana today. What a win for Roy Williams and the Jayhawks. Kentucky easily passed Florida State. So the Hawks and the Cats into the Final Four. In the women's play, of course, we already have Ohio State and Iowa in the Final Four. Big Ten's never had anybody until today. Now they have a pair. And coming up next, Texas Tech and Colorado try to make it for the first time. Only Texas from the Southwest Conference has ever been in the Final Four. Nobody from the Big 8 has. History to be made in Missoula when Steve Physiak and Cheryl Miller being here the final game of our 4-game women's set today.
I don't know who's going to win here tonight, but if Vanderbilt should come out on top in this one, we would have 4 newcomers in the Final Four. 4 teams who've never gone to the Final Four will be in Atlanta next weekend.
And surprisingly enough, a team that's never been there, Vandy, if they lose, it'll be considered an upset to the team that's been there many times. Cunningham with 16, shooting great from the line. A 1-point Vandy lead in the final 2:50.
I think this ball game will be won on who does the little things, and obviously we're already in crunch time. Who's going to box out? Who will have the loose balls? And who will make the right decisions on offense and defense?
There's a good decision on defense by Misty Lamb. She came up with the interception.
But I like Vandy's. I like their aggressiveness in pushing the basketball. They're not milking the clock. They are playing basketball the way they're accustomed to playing.
Cunningham fouled, drops the shot.
And that's a big bucket. Big-time bucket.
Joanna Jackson on the foul, and Mara Cunningham has taken over this game.
Done exactly what you need to do. Force Tech to play defense inside. She didn't take the rounder, but she noticed Jackson was out of position, took the shot up anyway, and drew the foul.
Finally misses one from the line. She has 18 tonight. Her team leads by 3 with 2:15 to go, and Tech calls its 3rd timeout of the night. Leon Barmore has 1 more left. 2:16 to go. He has possession when we come back, trailing by 3.
You know, some things are just more important than others. They're priorities, and they come first. Well, at First National Bank, we have priorities too. Yours. And whether your priorities are convenience, an open line of credit, or investing for tomorrow, we'll help you secure them and turn them into a future that's worth planning for. Because at First National Bank, it's your future. First.
You're going to hear it everywhere.
Bingo!
Now that the Iowa Lottery has
Bingo! Bingo!
that you can play anytime, anywhere. Each $2 bingo ticket has 4 different cards to play and 56 chances to win up to $10,000. Scratch the caller's card, then scratch the matching numbers on your cards. Get a bingo by matching numbers on the 4 corners, a complete line, or an X.
It's the Iowa Lottery game we're shouting about.
Bingo! Almost anytime, anywhere.
Just say welcome.
The West Regional Final is underway. Texas Tech, the 2 seed in the West, leading the 4 seed Colorado 2-0. As soon as our game is done, we'll get you out there for our 4th of the 4 regional finals. Come back now for the closing minutes.
Thank you, Chris Fowler, Bob Carpenter, Fran Harris here in Nacogdoches, Steve Biziak, Cheryl Miller standing by in Missoula. We've got 2:16 to go. The winner of these 2 games will meet the winner of the early games. The winners, that is, Ohio State and Iowa, will meet each other in the Final 4 in Atlanta as Vanderbilt tries to get there for the first time. And Maura Cunningham, a sophomore out of Fairfax, Virginia, a 2-time high school All-American and an SEC All-Freshman performer last year, tourney MVP this year, is the star of this one for the Commodores.
Yeah, looking like an MVP in this ball game. I like the fact that she has not taken her game, taken herself out of the game because she got the fouls. Actually, nothing called her way on offense.
Uncontested rebound she had there off the Pam Thomas miss. A field goal on this possession by Vandy, and they could really be in control of it with about 1:40 or so to go. They've still got 10 seconds on the shot clock. Better get into the offense.
This is a good possession right here for Vanderbilt.
Cunningham again. The 15-foot jumper. She has 20, and the Commodores lead by 5.
Vandy showing stellar patience on offense on that possession.
Nearly a steal by Shelley Gerard. Shot clock sits at 21 with 1:24 to go. And Tech will use its final timeout. Interesting time to call the timeout. They may miss not having that one later if we get in the final 30 seconds or so. We'll talk it over when we come back to Nacogdoches. Vandy up by 5. Tech out of timeouts.
You're looking sharp. You come so far. And we know how to make the most of who you are.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. A shave this close, this safe was never this easy. Sensor, and now there's Gillette Shaving Gel with advanced lubricants for an incredibly smooth shave.
I'm State Farm Agent Jeff Libby. One of the most gratifying parts of my job is helping young parents, people who are just beginning to understand what life insurance is all about. Young couples don't need a sales talk. They just need to talk to someone who understands them and their life insurance needs. Now, I know what that promise of security means, and I don't believe there's a better promise a parent can make.
State Farm sells life insurance.
In the early minutes of that West Regional Final game in Missoula, Cheryl's Poops for Texas Tech is on fire. It is 7-0. Colorado's called a timeout. Again, as soon as our game is done, we'll get you back out there to see who goes in from the West region. Let's go back now to Bob and Fran for the closing minutes.
Thanks, Chris. I bet Cheryl has a couple of those 7. Everything's in Vandy's favor. They have all the timeouts left. They can be aggressive defensively. They're not anywhere near the penalty in fouls. Tech does have the possession arrow. What about using the timeout there, Fran?
Well, I don't know what Tech has in store, but I guarantee you they'll pick Vanderbilt up. The full length of the court and try to get some pressure, force some turnovers.
They've got to get a make here. Ooh, and it just wouldn't go for Vicki Johnson. Tough rebound underneath for Dewana Jackson, and that's why the possession arrow is so important, because Tech will be able to keep the ball.
You're exactly right, Bob. That shot in and out for Tech was a big one for them. They looked a little rattled before the timeout. Now, perhaps that's why Coach Barmore called the timeout for Louisiana Tech. Set some plans in stone, decide what you're going to do.
Now, Brown draws a 3-shot foul on Mara Cunningham. It'll be Mara's first, but Pam Brown way out there, and she'll get to shoot 3.
Brown doesn't miss a whole lot of free throws.
70% this year. Lynn Foster suffering on the sidelines when that clock never seems to move when you've got the lead. He'll call his second timeout and have 2 left. We've got 1:09 to go here in Nacogdoches.
Tech has to talk a lot about defense right here, because they have to score. Obviously, Brown at the free throw line, but then they're still down. They still need another possession.
Well, Louisiana Tech, all told, has been to the Final Four 10 times. That includes the old days of the AIAW. They've won 3 national titles, 1 under that organization, 2 under the NCAA. We're about 2.5 hours or so from Ruston, Louisiana. They definitely have the fan contingent here. But right now, the Commodores from Nashville, looking to go 30-2, have the upper hand for that Final Four berth in Atlanta.
Well, I've seen Vandy play about 5 times this season, and I have to tell you, they are their best in clutch situations. They had not a very good ball game against Stephen F. Austin the other night for about 37 minutes. And when it came down to it, the last 3 minutes of the ball game, you saw such poise, such composure with all of the players.
Vanderbilt, as a team, shoots a very good 71% from the line. You can see that Shelley Gerard only makes about half of hers. Ginger Jared, not much of a shooter. So if you want to get your hands on somebody, those would be the ones if you want to put somebody at the line. A lot of exceptional women in action today. And the Red Raiders of Texas Tech looking very exceptional up in Missoula. A double-digit lead already on Colorado. We'll get it up there as soon as we can to Steve Fiziak and Cheryl Miller. At the line for Louisiana Tech, sophomore Amy Brown to shoot 3. Her team 5 down.
Well, Vanderbilt did a good job of forcing Tech to take a bad shot the last run, and then pretty much defeated the purpose by fouling Amy Brown on that 3-point shot, giving her an opportunity to cut into this lead.
Amy's 5th point of the day. They need 2 possessions. If she misses this one, she makes it, they could tie with a 3.
But you see Tech already, everybody in defensive position for Tech.
Plenty of time to go. 109. In the backcourt, Rhonda Blaze, good free throw shooter. Pam Thomas, ever quick, guarding her. Again, there's no 10-second rule in the backcourt in women's college basketball. Pam Thomas gets her 3rd foul with exactly a minute to go. Leon Barmore will set it up here at Stephen F. Austin State University. We do not have a scoreboard that breaks down the final minute into tenths of seconds. Rhonda Blade swishes it for her 7th. There's the scoreboard. It'll just go 59-58 in a second or 2. We won't have any 59.2. So it changes things just a little bit in the last minute.
In the Ohio State-Virginia game, we had to go to
0.6.
Exactly, 0.1, 0.2.
Yep. Heidi Gillingham back in. Mara Cunningham sits down with 20 points. Almost single-handedly, she's put the Commodores in the Final Four. They lead by 5. Amy Brown hits the 3 with 50 seconds to go. They have no timeouts to call. Vandy does if they have trouble inbounding. They get it into Blades, ahead to Girard. 40 seconds to go.
23 on the shot clock.
It's a 15-second differential. Vandy calls timeout. 21 on the shot clock. 36 the game clock. Commodores by 2.
Nature can be devastating to wood. All-purpose water sealer's waterproof. So does Olympic WaterGuard for wood. But only Olympic has sunblock protection to fight sun damage. Plus resists mildew and has penetrating linseed oil to strengthen wood fibers. Olympic WaterGuard with 4-way wood protection, because wood needs more than an all-purpose water sealer.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush life. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions.
Vanderbilt leading by 2 with the ball, trying to advance to the Final Four for the first time. They've had a great progression of records, culminating last year in their best record ever, 22-9. They beat UConn and Miami to make the Elite Eight, but Virginia knocked them off after a couple of Sweet 16 berths. And now they're having their best season ever again. A win today would make them 30-2. The Final Four, a huge question mark behind that at the moment. What a job Jim Foster has done.
Exactly. I was going to say, talking about jumping right in and getting a program going is Jim Foster last year. You saw the progression of the program, but doing some aggressive things with the program, getting them to shoot three-point shots with the assurance of a layup, and getting players like Shelley Girard, who had not taken a step outside of 12 feet, to take a shot, beyond the three-point line.
Now he wants them to avoid turnovers and hit their free throws.
This possession is critical for Vanderbilt. It's 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Ginger Jared, shot clock down to 5. She drives, draws the foul. It'll be on Dewana Jackson, but Vanderbilt will send a 69% free throw shooter to the line.
And Tech with plenty of time to advance the ball down the court for a shot. Three-pointer if they want. Amy Brown still out there. Tech not known for his three-point shooting, but we were talking about during the break, Amy Brown pretty much willed that last three-pointer in the basket.
Ginger Jared, a freshman. And it won't go down. Now she's got to hit this one so that Tech's 3 can't beat Vandy.
Didn't think I was going to have to bring this note out, but Tech is 7-7 in overtime.
Jared with her first point. They're trying to get a substitution. The horn blew. Oh, this is going to be a mess. They're still blowing the horn. The clock has never started.
The clock is not even going.
They were trying to get a player in, and the officials never heard the horn. Everybody in the building evidently did, except for the referees. Now, to the crew's credit, over on the other table, Fran, they did not start the clock, so there's not going to be a huge argument now about where the clock should go. It stayed at 20 seconds. They'll do the substitution and then restart play.
And the good thing about that is the players for both teams were pretty calm as all of that was going on. The fans almost came down to get on the crew. The players, you have to understand, you have to maintain your composure regardless of what takes place on the floor.
The clock never did start after the made free throw. The horn did blow immediately. The officials just didn't hear it. Yeah, he blew it all the way down the floor. So they're talking about the clock now, but really Jim Foster has no question about the clock. It never started, and that's the good thing, because this would be a real mess to sort out had the clock started and then stopped.
A nice insertion by Vanderbilt. Renee Allen in the ball game specifically for defense.
And Tech gets a little free timeout here.
Exactly.
They'll go all the way back to the other end after the substitution. Renee Allen, a defensive specialist. Tech needs a 3 to tie, and they're only 2 of 10 tonight. And that's what you call a pretty smart foul by Rhonda Blades, because all they get is 1 and 1. They can't shoot the three if they're at the free throw line.
Are they even in the 1-and-1? They force Tech to use some clock. They're not even in the 1-and-1, so that's a very good foul by Vanderbilt.
They can actually do it one more time. This may not be a bad time for 3 consecutive fouls. Down to 10 seconds. Brown, short with the 3. Cunningham the rebound. And she is fouled under her own basket as Deborah Williams got her. And with 7 seconds to go, 1 free throw should clinch it for Vanderbilt.
That just might nail it shut for Tech on that possession. But boy, what a shot that would have been for Brown from the corner.
I'm real surprised that Vandy let them get down there for a shot without fouling again. They had another foul to give with only 5 team fouls. But they survived, and Laura Cunningham goes to the line.
Will she handle the pressure?
I think that answers that question. Vandy by 4, and barring a complete disaster, they're headed to Atlanta. We'll be heading to Missoula momentarily. Texas Tech and Colorado.
Today we've had a few teams with Georgia on their mind.
Vandy by 5.
She can hit that shot.
Deborah Williams, long on the 3. It is over, and Vanderbilt goes to the Final Four for the first time ever. This is Bob Carpenter for Fred Harris saying so long from Johnson Coliseum in Nacogdoches, where Vanderbilt survives 58-53. And congratulations to Jim Foster. They're on their way to the Final Four. We're on our way to Missoula in just a moment.
They ate the same things, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Original Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. These two use aluminum and magnesium. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
For heartburn plus gas, Tums makes an anti-gas antacid too. Lisa's great, but there's something about Sharon. Sharon's okay. Lisa, whew, what a knockout.
Why is the grass always greener on the other side?
You lucky dog. Lucky dog.
Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. It's one thing.
Nice.
That's beyond question.
This is light.
Freedom's light. Those are great.
Wow! These are light?
Give me more.
Wait. Let's put Pringles Light up against these bag chips. There's 25% less fat in Pringles than in these.
You're talking my language.
And they're a lot less greasy. A lot less.
That's great.
Fantastic. These are great.
But I don't have to. Ohio State, Iowa, and Vandy in the Final Four. 1 slot left. We'll take it out of the Western Final. And Cheryl Swoops has been big. It's been swoop lot. Texas Tech up on Colorado. Let's go to Steve Biziak and Cheryl Miller in Missoula.
Thank you very much, Chris. And Cheryl has swooped for 6 points so far. We're at the Dahlberg Arena in Missoula, Montana for the Western Regional Women's NCAA Championship game. Steve Biziak and Cheryl Miller. It is 19-7. The Lady Raiders jumped out quickly to a 12-0 lead. But you might remember if you caught Thursday's game and looked up the score to open that game, and Colorado was down 10-0 to Stanford. But Stephanie Scott hits the 3, and the lead is now 15. And there's the star of Colorado, Shelley Sheets, with the basketball. An outstanding artist with the ball 5 feet 6 inches tall. Well, Colorado got here with their stunning upset of the defending national champion Stanford Cardinal on Thursday, while USC was pounded by Texas Tech by 20 points on Thursday night as well. So here we are, Colorado and Texas Tech for the West Region Championship game, and Texas Tech shooting 9 for 18 from the floor. They are the best floor shooting team in women's college basketball to 52%, and Swoops going for 6 points. Colorado scoreless in the first few minutes of this contest.
one of the areas that Colorado really wanted to concentrate on was Cheryl Sloops. And when you concentrate so much on one player, what happens is it opens up the opportunities for some other players. Scott knocked down a three-pointer. Kirkland's been shooting well, and Johnson's also been scoring for them. They even brought Adkins off the bench, and she's, provided a lot of quality minutes for them as well. Defensively, Texas Tech doing an excellent job on Shelly Sheets. They're not allowing her any type of perimeter shots, and they're keeping her off, which I believe is the best part of her game, the dribble penetration to the key.
This is Amy Palmer on the drive. She has to put it up, misses the shot, and Mindy Henry tries to tap it to herself, but instead it goes out of bounds. 7:52 remaining in the first half, and Colorado trails by 15 points.